Hi, I'm Jamie Costello, founder and CEO of Clothogenics. Today I want to talk to you about insulin resistance. I know you've heard the phrase, what you don't know can't hurt you. Well, in at least one case, that statement is false, and that is with insulin resistance. This is one of the most underdiagnosed conditions, and yet it affects 33% of the population. Insulin resistance is called a silent killer due to the silent chronic inflammation it causes. It damages both arteries and the inner lining of the blood vessels, the endothelial cells, through inflammation. And it increases your risk of stroke by 3 times. To diagnose this condition, physicians typically rely on a blood test for fasting glucose, and sometimes additional blood tests for fasting insulin and hemoglobin A1C. And although these tests will diagnose insulin resistance, diabetes or prediabetes, you may have had insulin resistance for many years before these tests detect it. That is, you could have many years of untreated chronic inflammation. Insulin resistance is best diagnosed with a 2-hour oral glucose tolerance test, which is almost never ordered by physicians. This test is the gold standard for diagnosing insulin resistance. However, I've got to tell you that as a patient, you'll not like it because it requires you to sit at the lab for 2 hours and blood to be drawn at the beginning of each hour for 2 hours, or 3 blood draws. You may not have heard before today of the significant damage that insulin resistance causes. Determining whether you are insulin resistant is critically important because of the lifetime risk of developing cardiovascular disease. At age 40, for men, it's 67%, and at age 40 for women, it's 50%. In March 2015, the Stanford University School of Medicine discovered a gene that, when mutated, increases insulin resistance. The senior author of the paper at the time said that insulin resistance is probably the #1 risk factor for a complex human disease. And now today, insulin resistance is universally recognized to lead to a number of other diseases in addition to cardiovascular disease. We know insulin resistance originates from the interaction of multiple genes. Genes that bind long-chain fatty acids, including saturated and monounsaturated fats, those that regulate food intake and energy expenditure, those that regulate amino acids and energy storage, those that form hormones, and those genes that promote inflammation. If you'd like more detailed information on this subject, I wrote an article about insulin resistance that I posted on our website. Also, if you want to take a glucose tolerance test, it can be ordered directly by you from Ulta Labs on our Lifestyle Programs page. It is test number 18927, and it costs approximately $31. So, how can Clothogenics help you avoid insulin resistance? Well, first of all, your genetics determine your predisposition for insulin resistance, or type 1 or type 2 diabetes. However, it is your diet, exercise, environment, and stress factors that determine how your genes are expressed, and thus your risk factors for insulin resistance. By interpreting your genetic profile and discussing your diet, exercise, and environmental factors with you, we can design a program to regulate your genetic expression and to optimize your health. All that's required is a simple saliva test you can do at home from a company like 23andMe. From this raw genetic data they provide, Clothogenics can analyze specific gene variants and prepare a detailed report for you with the best diet, supplements, and exercise program for your body and its metabolic factors. I urge you to call me today at the number on our website or email me at the contact page to find out how easy it is to get started. There is no better way to achieve your health goals than this.